It's all day of football. Doring Watson here. I know we're going to send it back your way in a minute, at least from what I understand. First time this league has ever had 8 conference games in one day.
It lived up to the hype, too, didn't it?
Absolutely.
Wild.
Crazy.
2 overtime games. So much there. All right. How do you explain Auburn letting, I don't want to take credit away from Missouri, but
No,
how did Auburn not win this football game?
You have 2 teams that react to adversity in 2 very different ways. One that shrivels and shrinks when things don't go their way, and then one that steps up. I mean, the offense for Missouri had done nothing until that 5-play, 60-yard drive that tied up the ball game. Both teams end up missing field goals in overtime, and then Bo Buell leads his team for a touchdown in the second overtime period.
And Arnold takes a
Auburn does nothing. Yeah. So I mean, it's par for the course for Auburn.
They found a way to win. I mean, I just love how excited Drink was. But it was the defense again. You know, we talk about this Missouri defense, and in the very end, they come up with the big play to seal the game from Missouri. But you know, another crazy game on the Plains. Can you imagine what the fan base is thinking about of the last 2 games that they've had in this conference, coming up just short like they did last week? So again, Missouri, credit to them for really getting up off the mat. You know, we talked about who's going to get up off the mat. Missouri got off the mat and won this football.
I'll say this is not easy to win. That fan base, that they deserve better than what they've had to sit through the last couple of weeks. That is one of my favorite places to play. You saw tonight the environment was rocking. It's difficult, and I think that's why you saw Drink being so happy. He used to coach there. He knows how difficult it is to win, and to walk out of there with a dub is quite the accomplishment.
The reality is, last 3 years, 0-4 in league play, 0-4 in league play, 0-4 in league play. That is, you talk about getting yourself off the mat, which is what Missouri did. Auburn has got to be sick and tired of having to pick themselves off of an 0-4 match.
But the thing is frustrating.
Conference, as soon as you step into conference play.
But the thing that's frustrating even today, when they go back and watch the film, they're going to see drop passes. They're going to see some great things. They're going to see a lot of missed opportunities that they left yardage on the field, big plays on the field. Guys like Cam Coleman that are wide open. He catches some, doesn't catch others. So I think the most frustrating part is that when you look at the roster, they still have a lot of talent assembled, but for whatever reason, they're not getting their production out of, and that really always comes down to leadership.
The frustrating part, too, for me is how nasty their defense is. Their defense is championship worthy. They can't pair it with any sort of offense. And even though you move the ball tonight, they're still one of the worst red zone teams. You get down inside the 5-yard line the last couple of weeks, they haven't been able to function. Left way too many points out there on the field.
Oh, man, oh, man. All right, so we're going to dive in. 60-minute SEC football final. At the end of the show, each of us will give our top 5 in this league. So start to maybe get yours together and see if it matches up with any of ours, or you can call us idiots or whatever you want to. But what a day, guys.
Par for the course, too.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's fun.
That's right.
You like it called
I love it. Idiots, geniuses, you know.
So-and-so knows
That's
ball.
why we love SEC football.
So-and-so doesn't know ball. Let's go.
SEC football.
Between Ole Miss and Georgia, Bulldogs outscore Ole Miss 17-zip in the fourth quarter, and Kirby's team gets a huge but difficult home win.
Another day in the SEC, and one-possession games have become the norm. I don't know that I've ever been a part of one like that. A lot of credit goes to Lane and his staff. They had their team really prepared to come into this game and start fast, which they did. A lot of credit goes to our offensive staff and the preparation they put in to not stop. I just told the guys that's a culture win, because you don't win that game if you're not physically tough, mentally tough. We call it hard to kill. And the one thing we're hard to kill. We won't go away.
It's disappointing to have a shot like this, you know, to be up 2 scores, as I keep saying, fourth quarter against Georgia, at Georgia, and undefeated, to go to 7-0. I mean, that's a kind of one of your lifetime moments, I told them, and it's right there. Or we're sitting here in a very different, you know, we make one significant play in that area there. We're sitting here saying, man, what a great job coming in here, and great job by the guys, you know, getting up early on them and finishing off Georgia to go 7-0. And we didn't. And again, credit to them that they did they made a lot of significant plays in significant moments, whether it's a receiver catching the ball, whether it's, you know, we have the third down route before that fourth down decision where, you know, we throw to Trey and there's a guy right there and man with no safety, and the guys made a lot of plays.
Time after time after time, Georgia could not get a stop. Eventually, it gets a couple, and they take advantage because of the leadership on offense of Gunnar Stockton.
You're exactly right, and continue to be impressed by Gunnar Stockton. He's tough, but you see him maturing as a passer. Mike Bobo called a fantastic game, but we always talk about how Georgia has started off slowly, defensively and offensively. But you look at Gunnar Stockton, they go into that game, they go on 8 straight scoring drives. You get the idea that whoever punts first is going to lose the game. They make Ole Miss punt, but in the second half, Gunnar Stockton goes a perfect 12 of 12 for 3 touchdowns, 135 yards in the second half. Lawson Lucky coming to the game with 5 catches, 38 yards, and no touchdowns. He has 3 touchdowns in this game alone. He catches 5 catches, 43 yards, and so Georgia lasted, and this football team continues to win, CD, in different ways, whether they have to come from behind, whether they're in this type of a shootout that they're in today. Complimentary football, but the leadership of Gunnar Stockton and the development of Gunnar Stockton in the pass game and the run game has really been great to watch.
BW, you remember that hype video that Ole Miss put out, the bathtubs and the shovel and everything else? I'm guilty of shoveling dirt on Georgia. In my notes, I said, no longer is Georgia the more athletic team, the more physical team, the more fast team. I was completely writing them off. I said the days of the dominance of Georgia are over with. That may be true. Some of those things may be true. Yeah. But the fact of the matter is they are the grittier team. They're the gutsier team. They find ways to win. They were trailing in this ballgame by 9 points at the beginning of the fourth quarter and found a way to come back. And they got together and said, look, we can't stop these guys. So maybe the best defense is keeping it away from them. They held the ball for 22 minutes. They ran for 124 yards in the second half alone and completely changed that ballgame in the fourth down. I give them a lot of credit. It's the same way they found a way to win in Knoxville.
All right, flip side of this, Georgia's off next week before they deal with Florida in Jacksonville. Ole Miss goes to Oklahoma. Where's the concern for Ole Miss? Do we think the defense would be better than it is? Like, what have we seen from Ole Miss here?
Well, you thought it would, but I think for Ole Miss, you know, you look at this game, and you mentioned the fourth quarter alone. They have 2 3-and-outs. They hadn't had any the whole game, so it's almost like they ran out of steam a bit. And in the fourth quarter alone, Georgia has 17 points, 143 yards. Ole Miss has no points and 13 yards. You talked about it, time of possession, and so it's finishing these games for Ole Miss. And look, last year, this rivalry has kind of gone back and forth. Last year at Ole Miss in Oxford, tough game for Georgia. The year before that, tough game for Ole Miss when they came to Athens, and so you're starting to see the development of that. But for them, really, it's about finishing in the fourth quarter. Georgia outlasted.
Had them where they wanted them, but they let them get right back into it, and props to Georgia for that as they go to 6-1, and Ole Miss suffers its first loss. Now 6-1. Tennessee and Alabama. Tennessee has not won at Bama since 2003. Second quarter, 7-7. Tennessee backed up inside its own 10. Joey Aguilar scrambling, kind of loses his footing, throws it away. It's intentional grounding in the end zone. Those are not the Bengals walking like an Egyptian. That's a safety. 9-7. Ensuing Alabama drive. Ty Simpson, Lazare Brooks, 25 yards. Into the red zone, and 4 plays later, it's Jam Miller to put him up 9.
Fantastic play call here. Getting the ball outside quickly. You see the misdirection. Got Jam on the edge with nobody out there from Tennessee.
All right, Tennessee trying to get something going late first half. Joey Aguilar hit, but completes the pass to Miles Kitselman, 4 yards, first down. Now, here's a reason we're bringing this back. 2019, Jarrett Garantano in this very game fumbles on the 1, and Trevon Diggs takes it to the house. Something similar happened on this day. Tennessee, 9 seconds left on the 1, 2nd and goal. Joey Aguilar throws into the flat.